Assalamu alaikum. I am Miss Aisha Abid from Army Public School and College, Khanewal. Today, I welcome you all in our Class 8 Subject Biology Week 5th by AppSex Online Support Program, Topic 3, and your teacher is Miss Aisha Abid. Our topic today is a role of nitrogen and magnesium. Objective: we will be able to understand the role of nitrogen and magnesium in plants' growth. Let's before starting up, let's have a quick recap about what we have learned in our previous lesson. We learned that plants need certain things to grow. These are light, carbon dioxide, water, and soil structure. But in our last day's lesson, we learned that there are some nutrients which are required by plants. They are either macronutrients or micronutrients. Macronutrients include nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and all that. Micronutrients include boron, carbon, iron, chlorine, zinc, molybdenum, etc. So these are helping the plants to grow and to get energy as it grows. Now coming towards our today's lesson, we have to learn that what is the exact role of nitrogen in plants body and plants growth. Nitrogen is the component of proteins, as we already know. It is a component of protein, different hormones which are helping the plants to grow, like abscisic acid, cytokinin, etc. Chlorophyll, basically the structural component of chlorophyll includes 4 nitrogen atoms. This makes the importance of nitrogen in plants body. Vitamins, some important vitamins which are used by plants are including nitrogen in it. Different enzymes which are essential for plants life. Now, why is nitrogen important? Nitrogen is important because it is a key component in chlorophyll, which is carrying out photosynthesis, and in DNA, which is basically nucleic acid. And along with it, nitrogen is important because it is making a lot of proteins and amino acids. Now, nitrogen, we will see that how nitrogen is present in plant hormones. You can see here, this is a cytokinin, which is a plant hormone. It is a group of plant growth regulators, which are primarily involved in performing cell division and plants, roots, and shoots. You can see here, there is N here, N, N, and N. There are 5 nitrogen atoms, which are in structure of cytokinins, and cytokinins are important for the root and shoot system and plant roots growth and their cell division. So you can see here, nitrogen is so much important in plants life. Nitrogen in chlorophyll, as you can see here, this is the plant chlorophyll structure in which there are 4 nitrogen atoms are present. So if nitrogen is not there, or nitrogen is deficient in plants soil or in plants body, chlorophyll will not be formed. Plant cannot undergo photosynthesis, and hence plant is wilted because of the absence of nitrogen. Now, nitrogen in proteins. You can see here, in the proteins are made up of smaller amino acids. They are joined together. One amino acid structure here, you can find nitrogen where there. Nitrogen is the main component of amino acid. So if nitrogen is absent, no amino acid will be formed completely, and hence plants will be showing poor growth. Plants get nitrogen in the form of nitrates. This is the key concept. Nitrogen is present in the air in the form of N2, but this nitrogen is get into the soil, and in soil, different bacteria, they fix nitrogen or convert nitrogen N2 into some nitrates and nitrites, so that this form of nitrogen NO3 or NO4, NH4, they can be used by plants directly, so that they can be a major component of plants growth, but not in atmospheric nitrogen form. Nitrogen has to be first converted into form of nitrates so that plants can consume it. Further, nitrogen metabolism, the process in which nitrogen is converted into nitrates, nitrites, and then ammonia, is called nitrogen metabolism. And nitrogen metabolism is the major factor in stem and leaf growth, as we already know. Excess of nitrogen is too much nitrogen can delay the flowering of any plant, and it can delay the fruiting. It means that when a plant is supposed to bear fruits within 2 or 3 months, if nitrogen is very much nitrogen is present in excess amount, the flowering and fruiting will be delayed because of the excess. You must have learned the term excess of everything is bad. Nitrogen is important and crucial, but excess of nitrogen will be very bad for plants. Deficiency of nitrogen. What happens when nitrogen is not provided in properly to the plants? Deficiency of nitrogen can cause reduce the yield. It means that the yield of the plant, the yield of the fruits and seeds and flower will be reduced. It causes yellowing of the leaf. The leaves will become yellow in the absence of nitrogen. Here you can see the leaves are turning yellow here and here because of the deficiency of nitrogen. Stunted growth, it means that plants cannot grow properly. Here you can see plant is not growing the way it has to grow. Role of, now we are going to discuss the role of magnesium. Magnesium is a structural component of chlorophyll. If you back then remember, there are four nitrogen present in chlorophyll, but in the central element is magnesium. Magnesium is here. You can see here in simple diagram in the center that magnesium is present. If magnesium is not present, chlorophyll molecule will not assemble properly and will uh, will be causing the destruction of green parts of the leaves. Magnesium in plants enzyme. Magnesium is necessary for functioning of the plant enzymes. These enzymes are producing carbohydrates, sugars, and fats, and storing them in their fruits and seeds so that different animals can consume them. It is the carbohydrates, fats, and lipids. They are produced. It is used for fruit and nut formation, and essential for the germination of seed. Here you can see in sunflower seed there is a lipid concentration. We can extract oil from its seeds, and magnesium is the part of many essential seeds like almonds, pistachio, and other different nuts. Now, what happens when there is a deficiency of magnesium? Deficiency of magnesium can cause yellowing of leaves. Why? Because the green color of the plants is due to chlorophyll. But we have seen that if in the deficiency of magnesium, that green part is not cannot be developed properly. Hence, the leaves turn yellow because the chlorophyll is not formed. The yellowing of the leaves and wilting of the plant. You can see this is a fresh plant and it is starting wilting, and at the end it is completely wilted in the absence of magnesium. Now, let's have a look at this video so you can understand the concept of nitrogen and magnesium deficiency.
What do you think has happened to these poor plants? These plants have nutrient deficiencies. They have not been receiving enough of the micronutrients needed for growth. Humans can also suffer deficiency diseases in malnutrition. Watch this video to find out more. Where do plants get their food from? Remember, they are autotrophic, which means plants make their own food through the process of photosynthesis. You can learn more about photosynthesis in this video. In order to make all of the macromolecules, the plant needs to obtain some other elements from the soil. For example, nitrogen is needed to make protein. Plant A has not obtained enough nitrogen, which it should get by absorbing nitrate ions from the soil. As you know, nitrogen is needed to make protein, so without this element, the plant will have stunted growth. The older leaves will be yellow and sometimes shriveled. Take a look at poor plant B. This plant has a magnesium deficiency. As you can see, it is yellow. This is because magnesium is needed to make chlorophyll, the green pigment that absorbs light in chloroplasts. As this plant does not have enough chlorophyll, its growth will be limited as it will do less photosynthesis. Now, let's look at plants C and D. They are also both suffering from nutrient deficiencies. Why don't you pause the video here and write down any differences you see between them?
That was all for nitrogen and the magnesium role in plants' growth and what happens when they are deficient in plant soil. Now there's an interesting topic of carnivorous plants. What are carnivorous plants? These are the plants which have evolved mechanism of trapping insects and digest them. They are green in color and a lot of them are red and different colors is present. They are not getting up photosynthesis. Instead, they are trapping insects and digesting them and use the supplements plants use to supplement the plant's supply of nitrogen, and they digest them and get their nitrogen as a source of nitrogen instead of carrying this nitrogen from the soil. So let's have a look at this very interesting video so that you can understand the concept of
5 years
carnivorous
ago,
plants.
millions of years ago, a number of plants went through a remarkable adaptation. These photosynthetic plants live in nutrition-poor environments, often lacking in sufficient nitrogen, and so they evolved the capacity to supplement their diets by trapping and eating animal flesh. Like my mom used to say, if you need calcium, eat a milkman. Yep. That's what she said. Perhaps the most well-known of these carnivorous plants is the Venus flytrap. Its leaves are divided into 2 lobes hinged along a midrib. Small trigger hairs on each lobe are extremely sensitive to touch. When these hairs are bent, ion channels at the base of the hairs open. This generates an electrochemical signal, which then changes cells in the midrib and allow the lobes, which are held under tension, to snap shut. It is truly as if we are watching the subtle gears tick of nature's exquisite clock. Why did you bleep that? I said clock. You're making it sound like I'm saying cock. Oh, okay. The leaves shut in 2 phases. At first, the closure is fast, but only part of the way, trapping larger prey, but allowing smaller, less nutritious animals to escape. Hey, I saw that. That is so f***ed up. As if the fly doesn't have enough to worry about. If the right size insect is captured, the finger-like cilia that lines the top of the leaves lace together, eventually forming an airtight seal so that the plant's digestive juices don't leak out and bacteria can't get in. Over the next 5 to 12 days, the insect, or very unlucky frog, is digested, after which the fly trap will open again. If this seems grotesque to you, imagine what a salad looks like to a plant. Think of this as revenge for your mixed greens of horror. If the fly trap is like getting your arms chopped off by the sneeze screen at a Chili's salad bar, the Drosera is death by lollipop hugging. The Drosera is also called the sundew. Its tiny tentacle hairs glisten as though tipped with a drop of dew. It is in fact not dew, but rather mucilage secreted by the sundew's mucilage glands. No, this mucilage is not like that peanut buttery lung cookie you throated up on the subway. This mucilage is a thick, sticky, glue-like substance that both ensnares and digests its prey. The tentacles respond to the slightest touch, causing other tentacles to slowly bend towards the prey and downwards. The more the animal struggles, the more they are entangled in this external stomach.
So let's have a quick recap of what we have learned in our today's lesson. We learned the role of nitrogen and magnesium, and in the end, we conclude that they are very essential for plants' growth. And the last but not the least is the interesting topic of carnivorous plants. Examples are Venus flytrap and sundew. They are trapping the insects to get their much needed nitrogen from the environment. So that was all for today's lesson. I hope you understand it very much and enjoy the lesson. So don't forget to learn your